She is a consultant on foreign policy issues with FICCI. And she freelances, but also writes for some newspapers. And if Jyoti is our very own, is Ambassador Leela Punappa to many of us here, who is not only a former Foreign Service officer, but a former Deputy National Security Advisor and Secretary of the National Security Council Secretariat. She is today heading CSCAP India panel. The subject which has been given to us is securing India's neighborhood. The panelists, if I give you about 8-9 minutes each, okay, 10, much less, she says. All right. Maximum 10. No, I'm not. We're going to waste time on arguing about that. 2 points I would like to make. There are 2 points. One is that India is in a tough neighborhood. And managing this tough neighborhood is securing it is one issue. But just managing it is a difficult enough task in itself. The Minister has assured us that things are fundamentally under control. But I think the issues of securing our neighborhood from our point of view is what would be of interest. The other is another question. What is India's neighborhood? A neighborhood is something, are countries where actions or developments would impact on our interests. If that is so, then we cannot say that only those countries with which we have a common border are our neighbors. There are countries beyond with which we may not have common land borders, which may impact on us. Is that not our neighborhood? How wide should we look, looking to secure our interests? So let me start with the opposite way from which I started. Can I have Leela starting off with her views? 5-7 minutes.
6.5.
All right.
Thank you, Chair, Mr. Minister, fellow panelists, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, kudos to Nilova for pulling off IRGA MAG, and I think we all look forward to this web product really contributing to the discourse. Ambassador Ghosh has kindly introduced all of us, but if I may just say that she has presented a formidable role model for all of us in the Foreign Service to follow, for her forthrightness, for her intellectual honesty, and for her great professionalism. And it's a great pleasure to be part of this discussion. That takes care of 30 seconds. I shall sum up the rest in 6 minutes. And I'll take it off from the point that Juku raised about what is India's neighborhood, because this really has to be the starting point of the discourse. A very brief review of India's dimensions indicate direct connectivity with Central Asia, with Southeast Asia, with all of the Indian Ocean, East Africa, and the Gulf. So while South Asia is a convenient term, it is limited and, if I dare say, flawed in its concept, because India's neighborhood, as Ashoka discovered millennia ago, is really very much more far-reaching. Barring 5 of our states, every one of them has either a border or a coastline. So the nature of India's international engagement is necessarily very diverse. But at the same time, in terms of what we mean by securing our neighborhood. Of course, it starts with securing India and the internal dimensions about which the minister spoke. And I'm not going to get into issues of whether something is right with regard to Bangladesh or Nepal or Sri Lanka, but really that our interests would require us to create common stakeholders in our country and in the countries concerned. Where there is a convergence of interests, sustain it, develop it, nurture it, instead of us taking good relations for granted. And where there is not, work on the concept of bridging the gaps. But ultimately, the concept of security, whether it's with regard to our own national security or our neighborhood, necessarily has to be integrated. It isn't just a matter of defense or foreign relations, of military cooperation, of intelligence, or balance of power ideas, but really the totality of our political, military, economic interests, soft power that people talk about so much, but really its usage to the extent that it helps India develop the convergence of interests that would provide us with the kind of environment that we need for our own development and rise. Sometimes we hear about the need for military diplomacy, we hear about economic diplomacy, and there has been a discourse really about the conduct. It's the tool, it's the vehicle, it's the channel. Diplomacy as a whole has to be integrated and total. This becomes the concept. From the concept flow the policies. And here there is a need for consistency, for some degree of predictability in terms of a doctrine. India does not yet have a national security doctrine, and it necessarily requires some articulation of policy. We have it in a limited sense for our nuclear capabilities, but we do not as yet have a national security doctrine, and perhaps the IRGA MAG could initiate this discussion. Equally, India needs to draw its red lines in terms of its policies, because when we talk about the neighborhood, emotions, sentiment have to be put aside. In pursuing national interest, while we might not be looking to flex our muscles, we need to be able to ensure that it's not love that we seek, but mutual respect in the pursuit of mutual interests. Policies would necessarily need to look at the totality of India's strategic endeavors through the tools of diplomacy, certainly, and this is where MEA and the missions play a very critical and central role under the leadership of the minister. But it necessarily has to pull in our military capabilities, our financial capabilities, our trade resources, our water resources, HRD, and many other such points. In fact, I think symbiosis itself and the very thought-provoking background that the Vice-Chancellor gave us really points a finger at how the so-called soft power really needs to be implemented in a manner that serves our purposes. Also, the nature of our engagement with India's neighborhood. I was glad to hear the minister refer really to the depth of India's engagement with its neighbors, because believe me, this is tremendously intensive for any Indian diplomat who looks at India's neighborhood policy with regard to any particular country. I think the kind of application and the effort that goes into making sure that the convergence of interest takes place is tremendous. Whether it succeeds or not is a different matter. But the bedrock of this, and I will take one more minute, the structures and the processes. If securing ourselves in our neighborhood requires the integration of the many facets of governance and of national effort that I have referred to, then I think it also it needs a recognition of the fact that diplomacy necessarily backends into the entire structure of government and of national institutions. It's now fairly well known that not just in India's case, but in the case of many other countries as well, their largest embassies really have a minority of foreign service personnel with people from other departments and agencies functioning there, whether it be agriculture or defense or trade. But the coordination of all of this is vital. We've often heard media and others take potshots at the Foreign Office, and this is a cross that I think all foreign offices have to bear. But if you were to do away with diplomats or with the practice of diplomacy, there would be a yawning gap which somebody would have to fill. So I don't believe there is any room for any modest proposal to do down the